is telling thousands of Nigerian nurses to go back to Nigeria. Y'all are all frauds. We don't believe your degrees or registrations. And this all stems back to a 2023 investigation where they discovered these Nigerians had other people sitting in at a testing center in Nigeria.
56 Nigerian nurses in UK caught practicing with a fake certificate.
Do you want to give them advice?
Where would you come?
So apparently Nigerian nurses are falsifying their certificate to come and practice in the UK. I've got my colleague here who had a word for you guys.
Yeah, but 56 of you guys, come on, it's not fair. So you see, 75% of Nigerian make it bad for the next 25%. Right.
You know, so please, this is not good. You know, like you guys are giving us a very bad image in the United Kingdom. You know, so please, you know, if you want to be a nurse, you should go through the right process. Stop falsifying your certificates.
My goddess.
If you've enjoyed this video so far, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button and subscribe. These videos take quite a long time to make, so if you could help me out, I'll love you forever. Thank you all for your support. Now let's get back to this crazy story.
Now, this is the penultimate number and it's number 2. At number 2, I present to you Kweku Afrik. Wow! This guy has a thunderous voice. Like when he speaks, you wanna listen. I've been able to watch a couple of his videos and I sincerely will tell you that he makes great impression in whatever content he's going to present. Thank you so much, Mr. Kweku. Keep up the good work.
So I chanced on this publication on Facebook that UK immigration is set to deport over 1,000 Nigerian nurses for fraudulent certificate obtained in Nigeria. Now, this information is misleading. It's not true. In fact, there is a pending issue which I'll be taking you through, but for this one, it's false, it's misleading, it's not correct. And then even Reuters have even confirmed and fact-checked this information. Reuters said that NHS did not find 700 Nigerian nurses working with fake qualifications. So it's a misinformation. That is not true. But there is a story and a truth to that rumors. In this video, I'm going to take you through that. If this is the first time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Now let's get into the story. Now, what is the truth of the story? So the truth of the story is that in 2024, the UK Nursing and Midwifery Council, NMC, detected and got known of a widespread fraud scheme involving the UNITSA Visa Examination Center in Nigeria. Now, it was revealed by some Nigerian nurses that the center was being used by some applicants to complete the computer-based test, CBT, which is a requirement for international nurses to practice in the UK. However, these nurses never actually sat to write the exams. It was somebody who wrote it for them. So all they did was to pay money and then the nurse was taken for them. Now, this was revealed by one Nigerian nurse in the UK.
UK government said to deport about 1,000 and more Nigerian nurses in the United Kingdom just because of one motor-mouth nurse with her 2 left legs. Can you imagine? Back in 2023, one nurse in the UK, a Nigerian nurse in the UK, was discussing with her friend and told her friend that where she got her nursing certificate, she didn't sit for the exam. Somebody else wrote the exam for her and she got her nursing certificate. She disclosed that majority of the nurses from that center did not write the exam. Somebody wrote it for them. And the person she told went and snitched on her. The person went and told the UK government. That's how the UK government started carrying out investigation, underground investigation, and they discover what they discovered. I won't say it. Now, one bad apple has spoiled everything for everybody. Nigerians, everywhere you go, you must show yourself. People are going to face deportation very soon. Please, and this is why I keep saying, whatever you are doing, please do it genuinely. Write your exam, pass your exam, and get your certificates the right way. Now, all the ones that got their certificates through back doors are going to go back through back doors. Nigerians are always training for the wrong reason.
I didn't say it. So this is a Nigerian I didn't say it. It was a Nigerian nurse in the UK currently who revealed this through a conversation to another friend. And it went on, and it became a myth in town. Prior to that investigation, which was actually opened in 2023, 2024, up till now, the NMC initially identified approximately 515 healthcare workers on their register, and more were still in application process, still registered using the still UNITSA center in Nigeria. But what you should take note is that not all the 515 people were guilty of fraud. So the NMC is conducting individual hearings to determine if individuals obtain their results through fraud or error, or the people, the nurses in the UK who were part or who allowed people to take the exams for them in the UNISA center in Nigeria. So this is what the NMC decided to do. Instead of maybe removing these people from the register, they decided to, allow these people retake the test under supervised conditions. Now, another thing to also note is that each case is being reviewed individually, and many have been cleared or asked to take the test. So, some of them actually took the test. Some of them, they didn't use that fraudulent scheme. But because that center is now in question, all the nurses in the UK or in the process who took their exams at that center are being reviewed manually, one after the other, to see if their tests were taken by people. If your test was taken fraudulently, they review and they come to the conclusion that you do not have an intent. Then they will ask you to take the test. You are a qualified nurse, you have the certification, everything is genuine, but just that you are a symptom of that test. Then they will ask you to either take the test, or if they think, you took the test yourself, if you can prove you are, let go of the hook. So that is what is happening. Now, for any nurse affected by this, the NMC stated that if an individual can prove that they passed the test fairly or can pass a new supervised test, they are able to remain on the register. And the NMC doesn't have any problem with these people. So like I've told you, the etymology of the whole story, how it started, who did what. They started conversing, and it got to the board. And so investigation was conducted as far as 2024 and early 2025. And now this was, the details from the original investigation. So the investigation centers at the Yannick Technology Test in Ibadan, Nigeria. The NMC found evidence of industrial scale fraud. The NMC found evidence of industrial scale fraud where data suggested that proxy testers were taking the computer-based test on behalf of candidates. And that was the investigation that was so. So this was what, brought the suspicion. Some candidates completed the 2.5-hour clinical exam in as little as 10 minutes while achieving higher scores. Hey, Nigeria. Hey, 2.5-hour clinical exams, some completed in less than 10 minutes. Holy shit. And they scored very higher marks. So the UK people were like, wow, what the fuck? How can, even we struggle, how can you use 10 minutes for 2.5-hour clinicals? How is that possible? So that was it. Now the next thing was that the NMC actually invalidated the test results of 1,955 Nigerian trained health professionals who took the test that specific period in that center. All the results were invalidated, those ones. But then they didn't stop there. They went further to check back. They traced back to see, because these individuals were already working in the UK when the fraud were discovered. They were being given individual hearings to determine if they personally committed fraud or were victims of the center's practices. And that was why. So if you personally committed a fraud, you are taken off the register. But if you were a victim of circumstance, or you just happen to be part, then you are given a fair hearing. You are asked to rewrite the test under, supervised condition, or what will happen to you. So in addition to the 513 or 515 registered who were already in the UK, there were 669 applicants. Now, these individuals who had applied but were not fully registered. So most of these applications were paused or refused entry based on character concerns. Now, put this together, total, these groups exceeded 1,000 people, but not all of them are being deported. So some of them were deported. So the 1,000 people are not registered, which is not true. Hey, it's just a matter of English. It's a matter of semantics. Yeah, a matter of semantics. If you still take and add, you still have 1,000 of you, more than 1,000. So now, this is the current status of deportation. So, as of May 2025, the report said that dozens of nurses have already been struck off. In fact, they've been removed from the professional register after hearings. So, for example, in one batch of investigations, 19 out of 30 registrants were removed. So they revealed that they saw that 19 out of the 30 in one of the sitting, those people, they had the intent of committing fraud. So they were removing off the register. So once they remove you, your sponsorship, the NMC removes you, you are subject to deportation. That's what I'm saying, that the earlier one is just a matter of semantics. Once the NMC, what is sponsoring, removes, you are automatically going to be deported. So now let's move forward. Let's say that now in March 2025, report emerged that the UK Home Office began sending letters to some of these nurses, specifically those whose appeal were denied or whose registrations were revoked, informing them that their visas were being cancelled and they must leave the country. So, hey, bro, it's a matter of semantics. And so some of these, Nigerians, or some of these people who were affected decided to challenge and test the law. So about 50 nurses have launched a legal challenge against the NMC, claiming they were not given a fair chance to prove their innocence or retake the test before being reported to the immigration authorities. That is it. After that one, as for the legal process, it's open to anybody and everybody. So if you think you were not given fair hearing, you have that right. And so I agree with these people. At least you need to try your last options. If it doesn't work, you go back to your country. So that one, I agree. Now, the NMC also had an official stance, what they were saying. So the NMC's chief executive, Andrea, has stated that we've refused entry to the register for the vast majority of the applications we've considered so far. Our paramount duty is to protect the public by ensuring that everyone in our register has the right skills and knowledge. And so, conclusion of the report is saying that not all 1,000 plus are being deported. Many are being asked to retake the test or are undergoing individual appeals. Now, the process is ongoing and deportation is the final step for those who fail their appeals, not an immediate blanket action for all 1,000 at once. So that is the semantics which is happening there. But in short, around 1,000 Nigerian nurses who have been engaged in fraud in taking the test, they've been taken off the NMC register. Some are being deported. Some are challenging the process whilst in the UK. Others are being given the opportunity to take the test. Those are the people the investigation concluded that they were victims of circumstances. So guys, that's the story. This is the clarification of all the story coming from the UK. What is your take? Those in the UK, what do you know of the story? Come and update us more because you are there. Leave your comment in the comment section. It's a wrap for today, and bye.